Today we are in conversation with Mr. Thangam Thennarasu, the Finance Minister of Tamil Nadu. He has another role too. He also is in charge of the Archaeology Department. In fact, that and the forests are a passion for him. He says he is lucky to have at least control over archaeology. So without much ado, let me ask him the first question. Sir, thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure, sir.
We saw the Chief Minister announce on January 5th a US $1 million prize to anyone who succeeded in deciphering the script of the Indus Valley Civilization. Two questions emerge from this. One is, why has it been so difficult to decipher the Indus Valley script? And secondly, will this now be viewed as a political project, given the debate over the Aryan versus Dravidian civilizations?
When I am coming to the first part of the question, the very problem in decipherment of the Indus script is that there is no availability of bilingual portions available for this. Unlike the Rosetta stone in Egypt, where actually the inscription is made in bilingual form, the Indus script does not have any other script to match with or to compare with. So that is a major handicap in actually deciphering the meaning of the Indus script. This is number one. The second, I would say that the brevity of the language itself. Unlike the your Tamil or the Tamil Brahmi inscriptions which you can find in the cave temples of Tamil Nadu, it's all written on the cave walls, or it are all written on the stone walls. So it is actually lengthy, and you will have more number of letters to really understand and to make comparisons with. All these symbols and scripts, they are all actually engraved in small seals with a centimeter, 1 centimeter length only it has got. So that is a big problem. And the majority of the portion is again occupied by the motif itself. So very little space is left for the script and the writing.
Yeah.
And again, it is again to be determined whether the writing was from the right to left or from the left to right. That is even that it is still under debate.
Okay.
So there are so many other factors also where it could really come from, whether this is a pro-Dravidian language or it is an Indo-European language. So all these things are still under debate and discussions, and a lot of research is still going on for the last 100 years. So this makes it actually basically difficult for the eminent scholars even to really decipher and understand what it is. Coming to your second questions, whether this has got any political manner, I would say definitely no. It has definitely has got no political agenda, or there is no hidden agenda behind it as to whether it is Dravidian or Aryan comparisons. What we thought that we should have the Dravidian civilization is that got very distinct similar aspects with Sindhu, and Indus also vice versa. So we wanted to establish the connection between these two civilizations, because we firmly believe that there are very significant findings which lead to the conclusion that there must be some connections between these two civilizations. There must be some kind of an exchange in the form of trade or in any other form. There should be some kind of transactions between these two civilizations, and that should have influenced each other civilizations. So in that aspect, we wanted to completely keep it apolitical. We wanted to do it in a very, very scientific manner. And would I also like to say that the similar excavations, which we are undertaking over the last 4 years across the state, we have been very specific that these excavations and the findings, the report should be made only based on a very, very scientific approach. So I can clearly tell you that there is no political inclination to derive anything out of these things.
Yeah. You look at the findings of, say, somebody like R. Balakrishnan, Iravatham, Mahadevan, or even Asko, Parpola, we find similarities, as you mentioned, between the Indus Valley Civilization and what civilization existed here, whether you call it Dravidian or south of the Vindhyas or whatever. At what point can we say for certain, without any doubt, that both these civilizations had some shared values? And at what point can we extend the argument of the proposition to fix a timeline for both the civilizations? Is that even possible?
So when I say that, because we are also, as I have already mentioned about you, we have been doing extensive excavations across the state. One excavation which is very significant in this series is the excavation we have done in Mailadumbari, where we had unearthed sword. And that was subjected to the carbon dating process in beta analytics in Florida, because you know very well, we do all these laboratory studies in the much renowned, um, uh, well recognized international laboratories. It's not done in the country. Because thereby we would also like to ensure the credibility of the results. So we have found out some very interesting facts about the Iron Age of the state. When it comes to the dating part of it, now we have found out the Iron Age which existed in this part of the country was really much before. I would say that it was existed in the 3 millennium BC. That is a very mind-boggling finding that we have got, and we will have to really make a formal announcements in this regard. So this is one step. So what I would say, when the Iron Age was in existence in this part of the country, Indus was in the Bronze Age. So when we were in the Iron Age, Indus was in the Bronze Age, because it was in the fag end of their civilizations. And where had that really civilization gone? Where had the people really moved in? So that is an interesting part. So what I would say, the Dravidian, I mean, I can say the Iron Age of the state should have flourished when at the fag end of the Indus civilization, because they didn't know the use of iron. All their objects are made of bronze. Whereas we had, by that time, we know the use of iron. So I can say that this is the period in which there should have been some sort of an exchange, because the another I would evidence we can say is the availability of cornelian and agate here in our excavations. That leads to the conclusion, because it is not commonly available in this part of the country. That should have come from the northern part of the state. So I could say that all these things lead to a conclusion that this should be the period.
Okay. Earlier in the Velur excavations, about 10 years ago, you found, double-edged copper swords, also copper bronze objects and all of that in Payambuli, all of that. Now, do these similar discoveries across Tamil Nadu
Yes.
give evidence that the civilization was possibly, one, of course, by riverbeds, and two, of course, shared some commonalities in this geography at least?
Yes. That is the main commonality I must mention is the urbanizations, the urban civilization which existed during that period. So that is quite interesting, because all these objects, when you talk about the swords, or you can talk about the carbon bronze materials. So we have found so many artifacts in Adichanuru. So we can have a striking similarities between the objects which were unearthed in Adichanulu and which were actually found earlier in Indus. For example, you take the mother goddess. So though it is made of terracotta, you can find a very striking similarities between these two objects. And when we say that the bull, the Indus bull, it has got a very striking similarities with your Kiladi bull. So we can go on saying with respect to the objects, there are a lot of objects which has got very similar influences by both the civilizations. One is this urban civilizations, I would say this.
And you look at Keeladi or Adichanallur, which of these, Velur or Keeladi or Adichanallur, which actually leads us to believe that there was an urban civilization which is comparable to Indus Valley? Was it that big and was it flourishing as much as the Indus Valley civilization?
Yes, Keeladi is completely, there are a lot of similarities with respect to the Indus, the constructions, the trade activities, everything you take.
Keeladi is layout of the...
yes, though it belongs to the Keeladi civilization, is little related to it, but it has got very significant similarities with the urban civilization which existed in the Indus.
Okay.
Even the town planning, their agricultural practices, their trade connectivity, and very importantly, I must mention about the potsherds. So when we are really actually making the connection between the Indus and our civilizations, the very major and important point is that the symbols which actually been made in the potsherds, both in the Indus Valley civilizations IVC as well as in the civilization which existed, be it in Keeladi or it in Sivagale or it in Kodumanal or it in Porundal, so many excavations. And we have now brought with a book on the monographical part of it. That actually it throws a lot of light over this. What are all the symbols of Indus and how similar is our symbols? So our chief minister has actually instructed us to go in for an extensive study about all these things and come out with the complete monographic catalog of it. And we are also studying about he has also asked us to document the rock art form of it. So both we are doing it, and we are making a comparative study with respect to the rock art symbols and the symbols which are available in the art sheets. So this is one main part, I would say. So the people in the lower rung of the society who were indulged in making all this potsherds and other things. So Keeladi, yes, they have used the same symbols, and in the Indus we can find the very same similar symbols. So some of the symbols are actually parallel, some are very similar.
And you look at all these civilizations that are rather the habitations that existed in Tamil Nadu. Are there parallels? Is there something that you can say that these were interconnected, habitations or civilizations?
Yes. I can, for example, I can tell you. You take the name of Adan. Adan is a name which is actually found in a potsherd which was unearthed in Keeladi. So the script is Tamil Brahmi script. The three-letter word. It says clearly it's Adan. It should be the name of the owner of the household or what one say. The same word is again found somewhere in Sivagade. So when you take and if you go to Kodumanal, which is in the western part of the state, where we have another umpteen number of hundreds and thousands of potsherds where you will have the script, complete script which is written in Brahmi or in Tamil. You can see a lot of similarities between those names and that of the names which you have derived in the other parts of the state. So there must be some connections between all these civilizations. That is, it should have been in existence.
Okay. Now, one of the comments made during the conference here, international conference on Indus Valley Civilization, related to the question of how ancient Tamil was, and that there was some more clues that the government had gathered through the excavations. Are we any closer to fixing the time period?
Yes. So I will please wait. Yes. No. I would say that, as I have already told you, we had a civilization. We were in the Iron Age, when Indus was the earliest known civilization, that was in the Bronze Age. Based on this, we have done extensive studies over here, and we have also made a lot of findings with respect to the Iron Age. We have done extensive research on it. Those were confirmed by the results of the laboratories. And we are now going to come up with a complete material on it. So I would definitely say that it is really much older than what we normally presume or perceive.
Okay.
Just wait and see. We will come up with some significant revealings.
Okay. You leave me in a suspense now.
At least some sort of a suspense should always be there, I must keep you guessing.
Yeah. Thank you. The next question is, you're an engineer by training, and we've heard a lot about use of artificial intelligence and associated, computer related software and all of that to, do dating and do, try and figure out the scripts and all of that. How much of that do you think is relevant?
It should be relevant because any technological updation will definitely be of help to us. Even to find a site which will be quite revealing, we use a lot of techniques which were not earlier used. So we now go in for a lot of modern techniques which will actually penetrate the rampart of it, and maybe it will show you some great details about what is actually hidden inside other things. So the tracing part, it really helps a lot. Already we are using some modern techniques which we are using in the other excavation site. The AI part will definitely help you even in deciphering of your Indus script. Yes, AI could really help us, which is very futuristic also. At one point of time, someone will really crack the puzzle. This can really help you. Of course, science and modern technology is the greatest tools which are now available to us, which can really do wonders. And why not in archaeology and the excavations part of it?
Yeah.
Definitely. And we are open to it.
Yeah. Two questions from the governor's address, which of course was read out by the speaker and unfortunately not by the governor. This is current.
Even if the governor doesn't read it, it is meant to be the governor's address.
Yeah.
The governor should have read it.
Yeah. As the speaker says, he came with the intention of reading, and that will do. So currently, archaeological excavations are being conducted in 8 sites. The governor's address says, alongside offshore exploration in Korkai. Is there any exciting news from any of these excavations?
In Korkai, is it?
In Korkai and
Korkai, we are done. It's our preliminary study is actually going. And we are hopeful of finding some interesting revealings from the Korkai site. But the other sites are really very exciting, in fact. The Kilometres, which is actually going in Tiruvannamalai district. It is a very revealing site where we have got a lot of potsherds. As I already mentioned about the Indus, we have got potsherds wherein we have got so many symbols which are actually engraved in that potsherds. That has got some striking similarities with your Indus symbols. I would say that these things, and I must also mention about Tulkarpatti. We thought that Tulkarpatti excavations will lead to a conclusion that will come in support of the Adichanallur findings. But far exceedingly, the findings were in fact really, it was throwing a lot of light on the present study with respect to the Indus civilization, the connections between it is really helping a lot. The potsherds which we had collected from Tulkarpatti is quite interesting. Similarly, the one which is going in Vembakotai, it's also a fantastic site. And the availability of the carnelian and agate beads and throughout all the excavation sites, majority of the excavation sites, I would say it leads to the conclusion that trading part of it with the other parts of the country, it is very fascinating.
And the two museum, world-class Porunai Museum in Tirunelveli, featuring antiques discovered from Adichanallur, and to commemorate Rajendra Chola's conquest in Gangaikonda Cholapuram. What have they started and what stage is it?
Yes.
You have identified objects to put it?
Yeah. We have identified objects because as far as Porunai is concerned, the objects which we had excavated from the sites of Sivagalai, Korkai and Adichanallur Pulukabati. Those things are going to be displayed in the Purunai Museum, which is now being constructed on the outskirts of Tirunelveli town. Because Tirunelveli, it's in the middle of the Tamarabarani stream, both in the, it can cater to the findings in the upstreams as well as in the downstreams. So we thought that the strategic location would be somewhere near Tirunelveli. Almost about 80% of the civil works is now completed. And those objects which are to be displayed, we have identified. And the curation in other part, the related part work is now going on. So we are of the firm belief that we should be in a position to really complete everything in toto and keep it ready for public viewing by end of May. So that is our plan. It is going on schedule. And Rajendra Chola is another part. But when we are talking about all these excavations, which is the pre-Christian era, what we thought is we have got something very distinct to offer to the world in terms of our glory of the Chola period. So that is where when we really made expeditions out of the country. So we thought that that should be actually showcased. So Chola Museum, which is coming up in Gangaikonda Solapuram, I had gone over there. I have inspected the site. Everything is now clear. That's going to be adjacent to the temple. All other formalities are now over. Actually, the architectural design part of this, it's being now studied. That will also come up in a very well. And we have identified, because we have also done some excavations in Gangaikonda Cholapuram, which was the capital of Rajendra Chola. That was essentially to showcase the pride of the later period of our Tamil kings, especially the Chola. In addition to that, we are actually planning a grand Chola museum, which is comprising of all the Chola kings, right from the Sangam age Cholas to the later Cholas. That's going to come up in Tanjavur.
Okay. Now, absolutely final question. This all very well, lot of archaeological excavations are going on. There's a lot of excitement in the community itself of archaeologists and people like you, interested people like me, the political aspect of it and all of that. How much of this are people concerned with at all? Is there a huge crowd in, say, the Bronze Museum or even in Sivagangai and other places wherever you have museums? What is the response like?
Yes, if you go to Kiladi and see the footfall, you will come to know what actually the public enthusiasm is created because as you know, Madurai is a tourist spot. It's not only by this. Geographically, it is located in the Sivagangai district.
Yeah.
And lakhs of people are going over there. And they are showing a lot of interest, especially the younger generation. They are evincing keen interest to understand what exactly our civilizations was. And they, in fact, we are going to now add up open air museum in Kiladi also. In addition to the existing one, we are now government has sanctioned the project for this. Thereby, they can go and see how they can see it in the Indus thing. They can actually see the excavated part of the Kiladi thing. So there are a lot of huge crowd. They are coming over there, and they are really interested. And people from various walks of life, they come. People from the different age groups, people from different professions, people from different geographical part of it. For example, last time Mr. Panagaria, Dr. Panagaria, when he visited Tamil Nadu, he was very particular to go and see Kiladi museums. So eminent personalities also, they are very interested to come and see, in addition to the common public.
I heard about Asim Premji's.
Yes, Asim Premji, he was there.
Yeah.
And he was so excited when he was there to really go and see around this site, because we made it as it is not a normal museum which were actually normally done so far. It is made a world-class museum. That point we are very clear. So any museum that we are establishing will have all modern facilities, modern technical interfaces, the technological interfaces. So it makes we wanted to actually have it as an experience rather than just going around and seeing this as an object. We wanted to provide altogether a different experience to the viewers and thereby understanding what the civilizations were from where we actually come from.
Yeah, where we are from.
Yes, where we are from, that is more important because, again, as you know very well, the CM has given a thing that the history of India should have been written from the south, from the banks of Kaveri or Vaigi, than from the banks of Ganges.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, it's
Lovely
wonderful talking to you, RK, always. It's a pleasure. Thanks for the opportunity.